Hi there, welcome to the latest edition of my 10-minute moan. And the subject of this 10-minute moan is two things. What did we find out at the COVID inquiry while it visited Scotland? But more important to me, what did we not find out at the COVID inquiry while it was in Scotland? So, one of the first people up to give evidence was Leach, the doctor. Sorry, the dentist. And what I found quite incredibly cringy from his evidence was the sort of sense of empower and entitlement this man has, where he couldn't give him a redneck with a branding fork. This guy seems incapable of any emotions other than I'm the kiddie. When he was challenged with some of the ways he discussed things in the WhatsApp groups, this became perfectly obvious to me that he was full of his self importance and enjoyed being part of the gang of powerful. That's how he came across to me. Then one of the other first, he might have actually been before Leach, was a guy, Ken Thompson. Ken Thompson was and has recently left his position as a Director General within the Civil Service. He now has a chairman's role in quite a nice wee shoe-in job with the Scottish Accountancy Chartered Accountants Group. Fantastic gig for him. And his sense of entitlement was shown probably mostly in his WhatsApp messages, which I found perfectly disgusting, to be honest with you. To be perfectly honest with you, I should say. And two of the things that are highlighted that we've all known about, which I found disgusting, were his total blasé style of talking about the freedom of information situation, where he highlighted to people that the freedom of information could encompass WhatsApp messages and we should delete them. Now, the freedom of information is administered by the Information Commission in Scotland. The previous head of that, who left his role towards between the middle and end of last year, in his parting shot after 6-year tenure, suggested that the SNP and the Scottish Government's freedom of information resources were not fit for purpose. And is it any wonder when it appears to me, if this is a Director General speaking to some very high placed officials within Scottish Government, and it is acceptable to everybody that was on that chat, the advice, nobody complained about it. They all accepted it, that they should delete to save themselves being subject to a freedom of information. This is disgusting. The other thing that he done was he took great pleasure in announcing that he felt his middle names were plausible deniability. Do you understand what that means? That means this man is not holding himself accountable. What he's given himself in all instances, he would suggest, as long as he can deny and give people the appearance that he can deny stuff and sound plausible, then that's how he should conduct himself. That is, quite frankly, disgusting, especially when you consider the topic is COVID. These people are a joke. But this guy, Ken Thompson, he's retired now from the civil service, I'd imagine after about 30 odd years, quite a nice pension, and he's got another cushy number with the Chartered Accountants of Scotland. What a world. They had Lloyd, she was Nicola Sturgeon's personal secretary. Her biggest thing on input was notes from cabinet meetings, where it quite clearly showed the politicisation of COVID. Handwritten notes. Disgusting. Humza came on. He talked about a WhatsApp voice messages that he would receive. He was asked to give a sort of example of how he would get information through like WhatsApp, etc., and how he would transfer that on to the central database. And the example he gave was Nicola Sturgeon sending him a WhatsApp message, voice message through WhatsApp, which would contain discussions and her feelings towards decision making. He would then take that information and put it and store it centrally. Now, at no time in the whole inquiry have I seen any evidence of any such chats being transferred onto any central database. However, it may have happened, it just happened not to come up in the inquiry. But what it did prove was Nicola Sturgeon's a liar, because Nicola Sturgeon has been grandstanding for weeks now, telling people she did not conduct any decision-making process during COVID on WhatsApp, etc. Humza flung her under a bus there, knowingly or unknowingly. And how he put it was, he would record any salient points. I am sick hearing this word salient. It seems as if you had a wee board meeting, probably out of your gold command only, and decided that salient point would be the buzzword, and the winner of the buzzword bingo during the Scottish part of the COVID inquiry for the UK government. These were them or nothing. Then we had Miss Fobbs, who I felt was the only person that I see. Now, granted, I didn't watch every minute of every person's evidence, but from what I did see, I believe she was the only one that told the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And I believe her. And what she identified was two things that stood out to me from her evidence. There was this existence of a gold command, which was a cabinet within a cabinet, but it was invite only. She did eventually, in 2021, now she was the finance minister at the time, eventually get herself onto some of these gold command meetings. She was not aware of them. So this was the first I'd picked up in this gold command, this cabinet within a cabinet that the Scottish Government were operating through COVID. And surprisingly, through the COVID inquiry, we found out that this gold command did not keep a single minute from any meetings. They tried to justify this by saying these were just basically to discuss the ideas that would go into the cabinet, and the cabinet would make a decision, and therefore the cabinet meeting minutes would cover them. But you need to know how you've come about your decisions, and if they're pre-made before you go into the cabinet meeting, it kind of suggests you're talking bollocks. We then had Swinney, wretched creature he turned out to be. He told us he had been deleting messages since 2007, since he became a minister, and he believed, he was told this by his private office, and he believed that he would be breaking the ministerial code if he didn't delete his WhatsApp messages. There you go, that's some justification for you. It's the ministerial code's fault that I didn't keep my WhatsApp messages. Then Nicola came up yesterday, God bless her, me soul. Bollocks, I say to that. Horrible, devious cow, I say to that. She denied everything that was put to her, which was bizarre. Because during her emotional breakdowns, which were probably numbered 3 to 4 during her time giving evidence, she suggested that she only done her best and she has to live with that for the rest of her life, knowing that sometimes her best wasn't good enough and mistakes were made. She admitted that. Go back and watch. Her words, not mine. Might not be verbatim, I guarantee you, but that was her salient points. So each time she broke down, she would mumble these things. I only tried my best, and I'll need to live with, knowing that we made mistakes. Now I go on to the things that we didn't learn, or the things that we should have asked during the COVID inquiry. Now, to be fair, I thought the KC was half decent at his job. There was a lot of times he was closing doors. Now, being a man with 25 years sales experience, I understand the process. Get someone to say something, close the door, can't go back on that, and you can use it again going forward. Now, it may be the case that all these doors that are getting closed will come up in the final findings of the inquiry, and I hope they do. But sometimes you would bring it back up within the same interview and say, remember you said. And they really couldn't wiggle their way out the next question because they'd already answered it previously. I thought he was quite good at that. I'm sure some lawyers and some salespeople will have picked up on that because it's a similar way that they do deal with their business. Naturally do. But there's a few things that I think we failed to learn. Now, what I've just said about Nicola Sturgeon, as I say, 3 or 4 times, broke down, I've made mistakes and I need to live with that. Yet every time he put to her things that he felt she'd done, you politicised COVID. No, I didn't. You deleted things you shouldn't have done. No, I didn't. So this is a woman who accepted mistakes were made, but yet denied every single time it was put in front of her about mistakes and lies that were made. That doesn't fit for me. What I would have liked to have asked is, okay, Nicola, you've cried 4 times, and 3 of those times when you cried, you mentioned and made mistakes. Save us a bit of bother. Where did you go wrong? These people never admitted anything. They say, oh, we tried our best and all that bollocks, but every time there was something put to them, well, we believe this was wrong. No. We done our best. It was all this bollocks. So I think that was a mistake. Second thing that I thought I would like to see, and there is 4. Second thing that I would have liked to have seen, they relied heavily on this policy that instructed them and used to justify them deleting their WhatsApp messages. Nobody was asked to produce this policy. The KC did, however, and I'm sure it was when he was talking to Leach. He said words similar to, if not verbatim, Mr. Leach, that is your impression of the policy. So I think he might have done a cutie here, that he knows the policy, and there is a policy, but it's nothing like the way it's suggested to us. And I think if he's as clever a KC as I believe he is, he knew about the policy and knows that they've just basically all hung themselves using this as justification. And I look forward to seeing the result of the inquiry, whenever that should be, to see if I'm correct or incorrect with this. But I do believe he's not that stupid. But, nobody was able to produce or even give us a date of when there is a policy. There was a policy brought out towards the end of 2021 that gave advice on WhatsApp message, etc. But that was the end of 2021. Might have been actually the end of 2022. The more I think about it, it was after the knowledge of this public inquiry was taking place. And there's another thing, when you know there's a public inquiry taking place, we actually saw an email from Thompson, not in private, this was something he knew would be public, where he told people to err on the safe side. If you're not sure if something should be deleted or not, don't delete it. His words. But that wasn't something that he would know he would get held accountable. That wasn't in private. That was an email that gets circulated amongst government officials. The third thing that I thought we should have went further with was this gold command and why it was set up. Because the justification given was just nonsense. And this gold command basically gave them an avenue to have closed doors meetings and decide where this thing went. And I spoke about it yesterday at length. It disgusts me. This inquiry was to give the people and bereaved families a bit of solace that the government done things as much and as best in their ability. Now the people have got to hear about this gold command and not know a single thing about the decisions made in it, the discussions, the information used to come to these decisions. All we're told is there was no minutes. I find this one of the most disturbing aspects of all the evidence that was given during the 2.5 weeks of evidence in Scotland. And the last thing I want to consider is, I think when the findings of this eventually come out, there will be people who quite evidently told lies under oath at an inquiry. Now, this is perjury, and I wasn't sure about this last night. I wasn't sure about this until this morning when I looked up and I'd done a wee bit of investigation. Perjury is when you tell lies under oath at any judicial hearing. Not a court case, not a criminal case, any judicial hearing. This inquiry is a judicial hearing. Therefore, anyone who has lied under oath has committed perjury. Now, people might go, but what about Westminster? I don't care. See, if you committed perjury in Westminster, get them banged to rights. Okay? I'm talking about Scotland. And I don't believe any of them, except with the exception of Kate Forbes, can be confident that they did not knowingly commit perjury in those inquiries. And the only thing, I found something odd when they were taking their oaths. Nicola Sturgeon didn't take an oath in the Bible. And someone commented on it yesterday in the comments in one of the videos, and I was like, I didn't notice that. I turned my computer on to watch it, and while the introductions were getting done, I was setting up my cameras and things like that so I could put videos out. So I had the audio on and I heard her give her oath. I didn't know. She didn't do it. And now, I'm trying to think if she's religious or not. But I spoke to a good friend of mine, a Christian friend, this morning about it, and what I suggested to him was he is a far more man of faith than me, and he, like Kate Forbes, putting his hand in the Bible and swearing to God. It doesn't get more serious than that. These people will not lie. I have complete faith in him as a friend and Kate Forbes as a person. They do that, they ain't telling any lies. Someone like me, who's got a wee bit more mixed emotions about faith, etc. If I was to put my hand in a Bible and swear to God, even myself would think, better be serious here, because if I'm a great believer there is a higher thing, whether it's God, whatever, is, debatable in my head. But you think, if I'm wrong with, even an atheist, if I'm wrong with this, I better watch out. Because if I've got this whole God thing wrong and I'm swearing in the Bible and he's listening, I'm bang to rights. So I don't, even regardless of your religious beliefs, if you are anything other than an atheist, why would you not swear in the Bible? Nicola Sturgeon didn't. Might be a big thing to some people and a very small thing to others, but I think it's a bit odd, if nothing else. So there we go. My wee 10-minute moans went a wee bit longer than normal. Hope you enjoyed it. Probably won't be the last time we talk about it. If you did enjoy it, thumbs up. If you want to see more, there'll be some bits in the corners. Hit the subscribe button if you've not already. Join us in the chat. But most important of all, have a great day. Bye now.